All right, welcome back to the second hour. It's exactly 29 minutes to the top of the hour. Remember, this discussion continues on the other side. That's at the top of the hour at 10 o'clock. But my guests are here, and I know Maliba has just come late from State House, so we'll be having him shortly right here on the table. But Willie Sutieno, Eric Theuri, and of course Alutalala Mkwana, all advocates of the High Court. Tonight there's a lot to discuss, gentlemen. Welcome to KTN tonight. Let me begin with your perspective of the day that has been. Willis.
I mean, if ever you wanted a confirmation that the political class is one, and today proved it to all of us. And it tells you that it's good that they've all come to one side, so we can deal with the problems of Kenyans in one side. So the red line has been drawn. It is these traditional politicians versus the people of Kenya. Where do we stand? Because politicians will always look for their own selfish interests. They are not about the people's agenda. But what has led us to where we are today as a country, the crisis, so to speak, about, is a crisis that is born out of a demand by the people of Kenya that we want our governance to be informed by the people's agenda. Mm-hmm. It's about the people, not about the leaders. So if members of ODM think that they are impressed by Murkomen's Balenciaga and Burioni suits, then it's good, they can go and join it. So it makes the people of Kenya's work very easy. So that now you know, when you are talking about Ruto must go, you can add there also ODM must go. So that we deal with all these political challenges once and for all. So that we have an opportunity, a golden opportunity in my view, for us to say we are going to clean our politics out of the muck that has informed this country since independence to date. Because look at these guys. From the time when I was a kid, it's the same faces. The problems we have today, they've been part of it.
Okay.
They have been part of the conversation. They have always been in the room making these decisions. And I want to say this, and I'm very happy for the ODM members who've joined the government. So I want to see Mbadi coming up with measures to reduce taxation on.
We are going to talk about that. I wanted your initial perspective, okay. Eric, your perspective of the day that has been today.
No doubt that it's a significant day. It's a day that, in my view, will set in motion several activities that ultimately will define the political direction that this country is going to take. The first question that we will have to ask ourselves is, what kind of government are we having in line with our constitutional architecture? Because we have a presidential system, and we have a party in majority and a party in minority. So we are basically having a discussion that perhaps this is what you would call a government of maybe national unity, but is a government of national unity compatible with our constitution? That would be the first question. And then the second question would be, perhaps then what motivated the formation of what would look like a government of national unity? Will the ODM party remain in the minority, or will they shift
to the government side,
to the majority part of government? And if they do so, are they then exercising political party discipline? But all those may appear to be semantics. The ultimate question perhaps then would be, does the inclusion of certain members of the ODM party in cabinet then cure the challenges that have brought us to this moment. And I think perhaps part of those questions would then be answered during the vetting process.
Okay.
And then there'll also be another question in terms of, do we then expect an automatic rubber stamping of the candidates or the proposed cabinet secretaries or the cabinet secretary's nominee in view of the fact that the so-called joinder or otherwise of ODM increases the number in parliament, and so that it becomes an automatic vetting, that the outcome of the vetting becomes
must be approval.
Automatic.
Okay.
Because again, that would lead us to, is that what led to the agitation? So it is a very interesting.
We will delve into that.
Yes.
And not to forget a theory that ODM in itself is divided on this decision. I have been checking and looking, and ODM party is yet to comment. Raila Odinga is yet to comment. But let me get your perspective on the day that has been, putting everything to context.
Thank you, Ken, and thanks for having me. Now, if anyone ever doubted that His Excellency the President was a perfect student, direct from the professor of politics in this country, this settles it. This is the art of political survival, taking the shape of an amoeba, no definite shape, and gaining survival from crisis to crisis. The President, for whatever it's worth, he has pulled a political masterstroke for his survival. Thank you.
MO1, Moi, my own, interest, right?
Yes.
Yes, that is what, and now that you say that, ODM party is divided tonight. Youthful ODM members of parliament and leadership are grossly unhappy with it. I say, without fear of contradiction, that when he was speaking in Willis's village, CS nominee for Treasury last weekend, he was sure he's getting this position. ODM is divided. What does it look like in ODM's house today? None of you is a member of ODM here. What does it look like, Willis, in your guesstimation? Because you can't get a perfect answer.
A political party is meant to represent the interests of the people. And if you look at the people, because even if you have members, you also campaign to the people. If you look at the popular sentiments today, it is that you can conclude that the people and even members of ODM themselves are not happy with this thing. Because of what interest is it? I mean, if I was a member of ODM, I would have resigned today in the afternoon. Because Rex was just buried last week. Denzel was just buried a few days ago. We had Kevin being buried. I mean, and we have more other Kenyans who are, as we speak, still sleeping in cold mortuaries. And yet, you have someone who has the temerity to stand up and say, we are going to join a government that killed these people. We have so many other Kenyans who have very malicious court cases against them. We have Kenyans who are maimed as we speak today, just for expressing their Article 38 rights. And yet a political party that wakes up in the morning to go and negotiate for a position for its members. I mean, that to me is like a skunk. When Honorable Mbadi had spoken in Parliament 2 years ago, that give Ruto his skunk, it seems that he now wants to be part of that skunk, because decency would have required that at least start with the people's issues. Even if you don't want to talk about the people's issues, at the bare minimum, just say, I mean, those who lost their lives, can we get them reparations? Can we get them accountability?
The president said that.
No. You start with that. You do that before. I've been in this country long enough to know. I was here when 2007 happened. We had IDPs. Over 600 Kenyans were killed.
We were just from school.
I was here in yes, we were just from finishing campus. Yes. I was here when 2017 happened. I was Raila's campaign manager.
Yes.
We lost over 100 young men in this country. I was here when Mandamano was taking place last year. There were more than 20 Kenyans who were killed. So that for me, and this now I'm here, We've lost over 60
present.
Kenyans. I'm very present.
Yes.
We've lost over 60 Kenyans.
Yeah.
And the first national conversation that is taking place is how to give politicians positions. I mean, let's be serious. Decency will require that the first conversation anybody should have on the table is to say, let's give these people what is their justice. Then before we talk about political positions, then we go to how do we hold accountable those who did this.
Okay.
And the final point that you should even be discussing, to an extent that you have a political class that mobilizes young people. In fact, they are now running a militia in this city. That every morning when somebody says there's a demonstration, you have a militia marauding around town, carrying logs and fueling in public spaces, and nothing is done to them. Which kind of a country are we creating?
Okay, Willis, hold your thought, and gentlemen, hold your thought. Willis stays with me, so is Eric Theory and Alutalala Mkwana. If you're wondering, Arnold Maliba is already here. So we take a short break. In about 15 or so minutes, the discussion begins. But take a look at today's news. Tomorrow, the Bold newspaper, The Standard, Ruto hangs on Raila Odinga for survival. ODM has nominated a number of people in William Ruto's cabinet, and all of them right at the top of ODM leadership. Hassan Joho, mining, blue economy, Wycliffe Ambetsa Paranya, cooperatives, Opiyo Wandayi, energy and petroleum, and John Mbadi is the National Treasury Cabinet Secretary nominee. Murkomen returned, Aden Duale returned, and a lot of other leaders. We take a break. When we come back, we'll definitely be telling you more about the day that was from the perspective of the gentleman.